Hi and welcome back to the Koi Perspective. So, missed you the last couple of weeks for the podcast on the Sunday, so I thought to do a quick update, let you know where I'm at. It's been a bit of a crazy couple of weeks. We've been over in Belgium seeing koi dealers. We've managed to visit Oase's head office in Hostel, Germany, and now issue 2 of the Koi Perspective magazine has been posted to people through their letterbox. So, really excited for people to see what's in here. We've got some amazing content from New Forest Koi Farm, the interview with Frank that I spoke about, and all that jazz. So that's been posted to advertisers, and also we've got the artwork from Lee Hadfield on the back, which absolutely looks incredible. I hope you'll agree. And some unique artwork as well on the envelope that's going to be actually delivering the thing. But today, I've been messing around with this brand new auto feeder, which you'll see down here. Now, these auto feeders in Japan cost an absolute arm and a leg. They're known as like the best of the best to get these auto feeders. And I just wanted to take you through, show you that I'm not getting all this for free as a hobbyist also. I saw this on Facebook, actually, it was listed, and the guy wanted 30 quid for it. So I organised a courier, got it collected, and it came. So these automatic feeders from Japan, as my fish go absolutely crazy there. They're all thinking it's going to go off. These automatic feeders from Japan are worth about £1,000. I've had some planters on the side, so the coping stones are a bit messy. But these essentially all have stainless gears on the inside for spitting out the food. So I've had this feeder over in the corner, the RS feeder, on for around about a year now. But one of the big problems that I've got is it only leans so far over the edge of the pond, and then basically it loses all of its length, and then it drops the pellets right into the corner. Now, if the fish all come to the corner, kind of like what they are now, but if I just dropped some floating pellets just where they are, they'd be fighting over each other, and there'd be a huge crash and a splash, and most likely some broken fins. So I needed to find a feeder which would spit the pellets. So if I show you just a manual feed with this, you can see it's spreading the pellets all the way over to where the bottom drain is. Also, there's some pellets here. Turn it off before it uses all the food. But there's some decent spread of pellets across the pond, and you can see that they can feed a bit more relaxed. I mean, they're still getting used to it, these fish, but they're looking a way better than what they would do if the other feeder was still on. I'm just wondering now what you guys actually want me to fill it with for the year. Obviously on my grown pond I'm going to be using the Dainichi FD food, but the main pond I'm not quite sure what I'm using here. Obviously, there is the Nutrimare colour food that's just hit the market as well at the moment, which I'm kind of like tempted to see and show you guys what can happen when using a colour food diet, as also myself never particularly used a colour food diet in the time that I've been keeping koi. And so, would you be interested in me with my brand new Japanese auto feeder, refurbished albeit? Would you be interested if I was to be using the Nutrimare colour food? Leave me a comment down below. But today, we're going to be heading over to Clark's Koi. Now, Martin has been on the podcast before. We did a good podcast with him. If you haven't seen that, you can check that out. But Martin's about an hour and a half from here. He's over kind of towards the East Coast, East Yorkshire way. And essentially, he's got an Achiba, which I quite liked. Many of you'll know that I've been looking for an Achiba for a while, but finding a good Achiba's like finding a needle in a haystack, it really is. So I'm going to head over to Martin's, check out his Achiba, and then also see if there's any other things that I can put in my grow-on tank. As obviously I'm sold a couple out of there now, which are going to be moving on. So got a bit of space in my grow-on tank to put some new stuff in. And also, just quickly before I end, I've got, from the same gentleman that I bought the auto feeder from, he was very, very kindly said that he's got 2 t-shirts from Japan, which never fit him. So these are in a Japanese XL, and these are from Okawa Koi Farm. These are the real original t-shirts that they had. You can tell because it's still the V-neck, which is very traditional Japanese. And then on the back, you've got Okawa Nishikigoi center as well. So what I'll do, yes, if you leave a comment down below, let me know what food you'd like to see me use on the main pond, and it'll enter you into a raffle to receive this. It'll be easier for me, guys, if I can just post this UK wide, and there's 2 t-shirts or 2 up for grabs. So if you leave a comment with your food that you'd like to see me use on my main pond, please don't make it bad. And yeah, but without further ado, let's get on the road and see some fish, eh? So just arrived at Clark's Koi. It's awesome restored barn. Absolutely beautiful building. Restored and rebuilt by Trevor Good and Nigel Speed in 2021. Really cool. And it's much bigger out the back. So let's head inside and see what's inside. So we've made it to Clark's Koi, and I've come at the right time, haven't I?
Oh, as always.
So what's this then?
Well, first thing that we had to do was get the priority right and get the kettle on.
Cup of tea, yeah.
Cup of tea.
That was lovely.
And then we had a delivery of some small little tozai, Aoki.
Yeah.
Now, Aoki every year, always a staple of what we have in. Fabulous fish, as everybody knows. He's one of those breeders that tends to really go after breeding some of the very hard to do varieties.
Yeah.
And he does them so incredibly well. It's as simple as that. You never see any of them with bad bone structure or anything like that. Off it goes. Just great quality fish.
Yeah, yeah.
But what we've never had is this size.
Okay.
So these are the smallest. Normally they come in and they're minimum 12 cm.
Yeah.
Up to about 15. But that's what we've got this time, which
Yeah, really teeny tinies, aren't they?
average about 10 cm.
Yeah.
But again, the usual thing that you always get, just looking at those, you can instantly see the varieties he does, and the bone structure is there pretty much on everything.
Yeah.
And these superb little fellas, which everybody seems to be into at the moment, just can't get enough of them.
Yeah, the yellow dragons.
They are just so
Lovely, aren't they?
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, really nice big scales.
Beautiful, beautiful fish.
Yeah, really nice. So you got Goshki in there, you got some Yamata Nishiki, some
It's just a crazy mix
yeah,
of everything,
like
isn't it?
Renjis
Just
and yeah.
so many different bits. Even the gosh, you know I'm minimum, we were just having this discussion,
Yeah.
minima crazy, Kawakami, people like that, Coda, you know, nice. But even amongst these mixers,
Yeah.
you know, there's some nice little pieces. We all know, quite volatile, especially at this age.
Yeah, you don't quite know what they're going to do really.
No.
Whether or not the sumi is going to progress rapidly in this water or whatnot.
Exactly.
But
I mean, that
fun little projects for people, aren't they? Yeah.
Great grow on fish.
Yeah, lovely.
Absolutely perfect grow on fish.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, we'll have them in at this size, and the intention is that they will go probably to customers that will have them as grow-ons.
Yeah. I might have to have a little look myself at some of these. So how much have you got these up for sale at, roughly?
These 24.
24?
Yeah.
24 pounds?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, not bad at all.
Again, just spotting that. That is a dreamy, dreamy, dreamy little piece.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, lovely. Lovely white fins as well, aren't they?
Yeah. Such a sweet piece.
Yeah.
Perfect head. Bone structure is incredible,
Lovely
as you
coloration.
always expect from him.
Yeah.
And just a sweet little fish. Very, very pretty.
Right, I'm going to put the camera down and have a look myself.
I can't imagine that they're going to last very long, to be honest.
No, I'm not Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, it'd be rude not to take one with me. So, picked one up from the Yellow
Be
Dragon.
interesting to follow that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it'll go in my tank as one of the smallest and as a almost like Doitsu variety. It's whether or not it'll keep up with the rest, but certainly be interesting to track and follow, like you said.
Well, again, you know it's Doitsu, you know it's not going to be a metre long fish. But the one thing that I have found with this stuff is they get decent size and the body generally usually stays well with them.
Yeah. Really nice clean zipper, nice yellow luster to the skin, white fins. Even the parrot likes it. Hello. Hello. Not talking. So what have you got in here then?
So, here's Uri. Obviously only from one person. Shinoda.
Yeah.
He says when he can open the bag.
So what mix is this from then?
Most of these Ikarashi.
Ikarashi, yeah. So I was just saying to you off camera that my grow on at home is really, the fish are skittish. So if a customer comes in and they say they're pond skittish, what's the best thing that you can do?
Chagoi, every time. Yeah.
So you've got a few in here.
Oldest one in the book.
Yeah. The fish like to shoal, don't they?
Yeah.
And they respond to other fish's behaviour.
Well, it is. I had quite weirdly a discussion in one of the koi groups last week, and it was about can you overfeed koi?
Yeah.
And of course, when you're doing a grow on, what do we want to do? We want to get as much food into them as we possibly can, as many feeds as you filter a day as your filter is going to cope with. But yeah, you absolutely can overfeed koi.
Yeah.
And that can happen with grow-ons, simply from the point of view that
You're pushing them so hard, aren't you?
you're pushing them so hard, but because you've got a lot of fish by the nature of doing a grow-on,
Yeah.
most grow-ons tend to be that you've got a high number of fish in a small capacity of water, and what that does, it creates a feeding frenzy.
Yeah.
So it's competition. They all want to be straight on the food.
Yeah.
And koi don't have generally too good a turn off when it comes to food.
Yeah.
They want to be on it all the while. As soon as one fish starts going up, sees food, the rest just follow it by instinct and start to feed.
Yeah, and I think at the minute I don't have that one confident feeder. So at the moment it's kind of one will come up and then it'll come to the surface, its mouth will make a noise on top and then spook the rest and then they're darting around the tank. So
Yeah. Not good for the fish,
No.
because you can obviously end up damaging fish. But by the same token, it is that thing where you just want them to settle down.
Yeah.
So they'll feed regularly,
Yeah,
but just not in such a skittish format.
absolutely, yeah.
Different varieties, as you know, do have different feeding habits. That's a given.
Yeah,
Chagoi tend to be across the surface, a little bit like Pac-Man,
yeah,
hoovering up everything that can get their hands on. And then things like Shiros tend, not always, but tend to, particularly when they're smaller, come from the deeper water, up, grab the food, go back down, eat it, and then back up for the next lot.
yeah.
Asagi, again, very skittish. Yasui, same.
I always like a yami. A yami's always quite, almost like a calming influence in a pond, I think, Yamabuki.
Crazy thing with that, if you think Sorogoi,
Yeah,
Chagoi,
yeah,
Yamabuki Ogans, Benigoi, they all tend to be, your mono-coloured koi tend to be the ones that are a bit more chilled
the
out.
single colours, yeah.
More stable in influence in your pond.
Right, nice mix in there. We've got some Karashigoi, Kahaku, Sanki, Yamabuki, Ginrin Chagoi, so
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get the net in here and have a look.
Well, these are our cheapest koi that we do.
Yeah.
They're not the highest grade. Literally, we sell everything, as you know, from this sort of quality and grade at £16 a piece.
Wow.
Right the way through to infinity, thousands. When people first start in the hobby, it's not about always the fact that they don't have the budget, the pockets, deep pockets. It's about their knowledge base doesn't allow them to have the confidence to be buying expensive koi. So this is where they tend to start off. And I would say probably 70-80% of those customers a year or two down the line have gained more knowledge, they're more confident with what they're doing, and they're now spending 800, 1,000, 1,500 pound per koi. But they're not going to do that to start off with. This is where it's good to start off with.
In the time that I've held my camera here, I've seen a couple of pieces that I think are really good quality in here. So I think you can beat the dealer sometimes with this type of thing.
Absolutely. You will always find these mixers, when they come through, you'll always find at least 3 or 4 in each batch that you think that's worth growing on. That's got potential.
So I'm going to have a look through and I'll show you what I pick out of here, because I've already seen. So before Martin sees it and puts it in a more expensive font. But he wouldn't do that anyway.
I promise you faithfully, all these, they all go in that £16 vat.
£16? Yeah.
Regardless of size, that's nothing to do with it. Whatever price we've got them in at, we've put a sensible, without being ridiculous, a sensible profit. At the end of the day, we are a business. But I want my customers to get a good bargain without having to be, taken for a ride. If we get them in cheap, I'd rather let them go out cheap and then put something else in the tank.
So we've got Elvis on the camera.
Am I getting paid for this?
I just wanted to show people £16 this ball is. That is absolutely insane. So I think I'm going to make Martin regret that. So I've added a couple more into this yellow dragon in here. Got this lovely olive colour chargoi. Now, for the novices out there that don't know what chargoi means, char stands for tea in Japan. And obviously in Japan they drink lots more green tea than we drink, brown breakfast tea. So you want like a green olive colour in chargoi. And just look at how big that backbone is. The actual backbone, really predominant throughout. And we were just saying, me and Martin, that we really like, in 2 of these, they've got the red in the tail. So you can just see that on my fingers there. Not hurting the koi anything. I'm just holding it in my hand. See the red on the tail there? That comes from a very famous Marisé bloodline, which tells me that these have true over a metre bloodline genetics. We're talking about 16 quid here, Martin.
Well, that's what they come out at. We get them in at the right money. Like I say, they're not the highest of grades, but health, quality and everything else for the money, the health is absolutely superb on them. And I've had literally customer after customer after customer over the years that have started on these, and they've still got the same fish that is now 80 and 85, 90 cm. I've got one customer that has now got a 97 cm example, and that came out of our £16 tank.
So this one as well. So this one I picked it just based on the head shape. There's a couple in here that almost remind me of when my pug got stung by a bee. on its face, and its face started to almost like swell up. Now, in a young koi like that, I'm thinking this has got the head shape to sustain body development through to a big size.
Absolutely.
Don't you agree? And
superb bone structure.
Lovely chubby cheeks where it'll have a really, if you know what I'm on about, if you know, it'll have a really cute face. But look at the size of the mouth. The mouth is nearly half the width of my index finger, which is, for a fish of this size, that's going to grow. And when we were just speaking about how to tame down my growing pond, that Karashigoi there, I think, will be a feeding machine. And then we were looking just at 2 Ginrin Chagois here. And I really found it hard to decide which one to choose, because they're both very, very good quality. And one of them will be available. So if you're interested in the one that I'm leaving here, you can contact martin, but very both have very good ginrin qualities. This one on my left, or your right as you're watching this, has a bigger head shape, but phenomenal ginrin, almost like a little bit of a different colour, slightly greyer, would you say?
Yeah. Almost leaning towards a Sorogoi colour,
yes.
but still see that lovely tea colour in it.
Yeah, but there's a couple of scales, just like down here that we'd seen, that are just not quite aligned. So this one is the one I'm going to be taking home, and you can just see this amazing ginrin, which is like a natural sparkle in the scale, and that's going to just be accentuated. The bigger this fish gets, it's going to...
Crazy fact for you, you probably know this yourself anyway. Ginrin, a lot of people ask where that comes from. Now we talk about defects in koi or demerits.
Yeah.
Ginrin is actually a defect that's been bred into the koi that causes that lovely ginrin shimmer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to think that, isn't it? And all of these bloodlines and all of these koi that we love to keep are essentially all defects from the original carp
Correct.
line, and they're just bred into them. And perhaps, interesting to take a step back sometimes and consider that. But I can't believe the quality here for this price. And it just goes to show, if you spend your time at a dealer, get to know when his shipments come in, and then come and spend the time, and then you can scalp all his best stuff like I've just done.
And don't rush when you're picking. We often get people come and they can be 2 or 3 hours where they're selecting koi. I would much rather do that. Go home with what you want. If you even or err when you're looking at a koi, walk away from it. That's not a koi for you, it's a koi for somebody else. It's simple as that.
And you can see in here as well, there's another really crazy koi that we were just looking at as well, that for the right person out there, where's it gone? There it is. No, it's not. Where's it gone now?
It's down that side.
No, oh, there it is.
There it is.
You can see the amount of quality we've got in here, but see this here. Look at that. As that gets bigger, that ginrin is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And it'll be a difficult one to see in your pond if it's right down the bottom, but as it comes up to feed on the top, for the right person out there, that'll be an absolutely stunning ginrin. Well, we're calling it like a wagoi.
And the one thing that, again, nobody should, when you're picking koi, never ever compromise on, which is bone structure. And if you look at that, the bone structure and body shape is absolutely perfect on that little fish.
Another brilliant example of a proper chagoi. And then you've got in here, you've got what we call Yamabuki, which is yellow, really mild colour, but Steve will tell you how that'll change as it grows.
Yeah, Yamabuki is most of the bloodlines. I mean, there are a lot of breeders doing good Yamabuki now, some better than others. But as a whole, generally when you're picking Yamabuki at this size, go for the slightly paler ones. This is a generalisation, obviously, but if they carry too much colour when they're young, and there are exceptions to this, certain bloodlines, but overall, if they carry too much yellow on them when they're young, you can get developing what are called sunspots, which are blotches of heavier colour, almost orange in colour. And that'd be a shame, because at the end of the day, Yamabukis, we want to see a nice, even yellow colour right across the koi.
It's a lovely pattern for an achiever, isn't it? Absolutely to die for pattern.
Nice, what many will call a tancho spot, which it's not. It's just a lovely head pattern.
Yeah, lovely Maritime, yeah.
The one thing that I do love about a Fuchi or Chiba as well is this beautiful net pattern that you can see that's starting to develop. As this koi grows, the brown will get a lot darker than that, and this net pattern will almost be black. It's an absolute characteristic of that particular variety that he does in that bloodline.
And these are so temperamental for colour change. Like, I think since it's been here, it's got a bit lighter than what it was when you'd...
Slightly, when it came through quarantine, which will be due to temperature, that it obviously comes into quarantine, and then brought it back down again. And it's just starting, if you look now into the scale itself, it's just starting to pick up that darker
coloration again, yeah.
Starting to come over.
Yeah, a lovely koi. I'm going to have a closer look at it and make a decision. So where are these from?
Tanaka.
Tanaka. Oh dear, dear, dear. What have I got myself in for? I should have just taken that ball and got out of here.
I'm liking it because my advert seems to be getting cheaper and cheaper.
So you said that you had to have some convincing to get these in the first place because they're not cheap, are they?
No, they're not. These are, as obviously your followers and readers of the magazine, etc., will know, there are lots of different grades in koi. Yeah. We've just been having a conversation off camera about not getting massively caught up too much on names of breeders. They are important, and who breeds what qualities.
Yeah.
But what you really need to know is the grade of what you're buying.
Yeah.
So Sakai Fish Farm, for instance, phenomenal farm, great stuff, breed great quality fish. However, they do the same as every other breeder, they grade out their fish. So you have all different grades. So sometimes when you walk into a dealer and you see a name of a breeder, don't just assume that that is their highest grade from that breeder.
Number one quality, yeah.
Yeah, it's just not the way it is. With these, personally, and it is a personal thing, I think this particular batch, this spawning from this particular breeder, is probably about the highest grade that I personally have seen come out of Japan this year, and I won't be shocked if it's the same for everybody else. They are just stellar quality.
So these are asagi essentially without the blue coloration.
You got it? Yeah.
So the yuki in yuki asagi stands for snow in
Correct.
Japanese, and so it's you're looking for a white base with not so much darkness, and then obviously the red belly, the red fins, and red eyes. Some of them very different though, like the red belly is coming up above the lateral line, almost like Kanoko yuki asagi.
It is that thing where at the end of the day, it's all about what you want to see personally from one of these. So some people will want that traditional just up to the lateral line with the belly.
Yeah.
Other people love a loose Kanoko sort of patterning, like you'll see a little bit more in this one.
Yeah.
Personally, I love that. I think it's absolutely smashing, but not for everybody. And it's just about talk to your dealer and get his or her expertise on this particular bloodline and how they develop to find exactly what is going to be right for you.
Yeah.
One thing, always with these, back to the beginning, never compromise on bone structure. As you can see with these, and I would expect from this bloodline, absolutely incredible bone structure.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal. If I can gently lift one, just so as we can see the height.
Yeah. Really strong backbone, big heads.
That body.
Yeah.
Just incredible. And they're always like that. They grow while you're looking at them. Real feeding machines.
Lovely Ginrin as well.
And again, for me, that's one of the highlights of this particular bloodline, the quality of the Ginrin. It's not just Ginrin, it is exceptional Ginrin.
Yeah.
Just so strong.
Right. So these are $295, aren't they? You said £295. So,
but again, it's that thing that this is the grading process. We looked at our starter tank at £16.
Yeah.
Lovely, healthy koi, but they're not this quality.
Yeah.
This is a whole different level. If you look round dealers, importers, etc., when you get this particular fish up to sort of 50-55 cm, you start seeing phenomenal prices on them, and that is because it is so hard to find that quality at that sort of size.
Right then, so we've been through all of them. Quite rigorous, actually.
Oh yeah.
What do you reckon to my selection then?
Well, again, just off camera, we were just saying about this. I said there's one that I definitely would pick out myself, but I wouldn't tell Joe which one it was until we got to the end. And Joe, using his skill and knowledge, picked out this little fella, and it was the one that I would have gone for myself.
Yeah, so it's got a lovely white nose. I think we basically said that we think all of them could be, not guaranteed, but we thought that all of them are going to get belly. The belly Benny will come up the body.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
This one's showing signs of it early, so if we're picking them based on the belly Benny coming, picking one that has it already is probably an easier sign. It's got Benny in all fins, both eyes, the mouth, and obviously under the dorsal, which to me is amazing for an Asagi of this age. Lovely white skin and ginrin throughout. And yeah, for me, just a really strong choice. And also we were looking quite a bit at the fin shape. If I just see if I can show you, lovely round pec fins, not too large, quite in proportion to the body. It swims quite elegantly. That's why I picked it.
It's a great fish.
Yeah.
Again, back to the beginning, bone structure is absolutely epic. Would not expect anything. I can sometimes get quite blasé about certain bloodlines from certain breeders because you expect the quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is certainly one of those cases. The bone structure is just epic. There is nothing bad to say about that bone structure in any way. You're a fish. You're not supposed to be in the air. And as you can see, just the height of that spine, depth to the body is exceptionally good.
Yeah.
Just such a beautiful fish.
And at a young age like this, at what, probably nearly 20, 50, like coming up to 20 cm?
Yeah,
like that.
about 18 to 20.
18 to 20, something like that. I think to have like the Benny coloration like that, I think it'll get deeper, thicker, redder.
Yeah.
And I really think that Kanoko is going to come flying up with a bit of colour food in the grow on.
Again, another characteristic of this bloodline is that Benny, it's something that you never have to worry about.
Yeah.
It will always come through, and it comes through. If you see it at this age and it's a little bit sort of light or thin with no major depth to it, don't worry, it will come through.
Yeah.
You never ever see one of these at this grade anyway, where the Benny is not going to develop phenomenally. And it always turns into a really, really thick, lustrous, very deep, reddy orange, as opposed to a wishy-washy, washed-out orange. It's just tremendous.
So you've managed to sell the Asagi man his first Yuki Asagi. Ooh. There you go.
Well, if you're going to do it, start off with quality, and that is certainly a quality piece.
Really nice.
It's exceptional.
And it's a better size for the grow on than that Chiba.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to make the decision to take.
And I think this is definitely one for you to follow on your channel.
Yeah.
Certainly with the progression of this Kanoko style Benny.
Yeah, coming
and
up
what's going to happen with that.
Yeah.
It's a lovely characteristic of them, and that's going to make a great fish.
Well, you'll be able to follow it along, so now's a good time to hit the subscribe button and follow it along. And it wouldn't surprise me that this is a totally different fish in only 6 months' time. So
well, I'll tell you what, in your grow on, what temperature are you going to run at?
About 24.
Feeds a day?
About 8, 10.
And what we're feeding?
Dainichi colour food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to guess end of September you should have that to minimum 45 cm.
Let's hope so.
So what
a lot of competition.
No, come on camera. On camera, commit yourself. I'll say minimum 45 cm.
I wish I could. It's only 500 gallons. A lot of fish in there.
You'll do it.
I would say, come on, 40 cm. Yeah.
So anything between 40 and 45, you've won.
Yeah.
Anything past 45,
you've won. Yeah.
You've certainly got the fish for it, and the genetics are in there to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And at that temperature, good water quality, and the food you're going to feed it, I think that's a certain for over 45 by the end of September.
Let's hope so. Right, we'll get it bagged up and get them home. So whilst I was in the area, we're actually really close to Granite Stone Creations. So I thought I'd pop in and pick up some samples of some new products that we've been running through. Well, it's nice to support a hobbyist who makes all the granite stuff, and get the granite plaques made by somebody who's actually a koi hobbyist from the UK himself as well. So let me turn you around and I'll show you some of these samples. So some of you might have seen this on the Chagman's YouTube channel. We've got the Fancier Chag granite plaque. So these ones can be screwed and drilled so they can be hung up on the wall. But Ben does loads of his other stuff as well that's not koi perspective designed. You can see all these plaques. Really, really cool. And then all of this is all hand painted. So you can see the ones in progress. These are going to Oaks Koi Farm. And that's kind of the finished design. Really nice finish. You can see how it's like almost like drilled in and then painted on. And then Ben's just been showing me these samples, which are actually laser engraved on little wooden coasters, which has got my I'm interested in getting some designed up. But those are really cool as well. So these are my sets of coasters. So you got the Tory Gate, iconic koi perspective logo, and they've all got little foam shoes on. Fancier Chag. The Koi Addict Social Club. And the Show We're Not a Grower. And again, these are all textured. You can actually see. And obviously great for outdoors on your garden furniture next to the pond. So I'll leave all the links down to all the granite stuff that you can get down below. So these are the other plaques that we've got. I've already shown you this one. That's how it looks hung up. And then we've got the little koi perspective and the other proper Show We're Not a Grower. Really cool. All hand painted. Really nice. Yeah, so I'm going to find somewhere at home, I think, to put these up. Right, so we've just made it home. And it's been a really good day, actually. I've really enjoyed it. Obviously set out to have a look at that Achiba, but just turned out male that. Great pattern. And probably a little bit too big to go in this tank behind me. Only 500 gallons. It was up near 35 cm. And yeah, it was a really good day at Martin's place, and he had some really good value fish, which I'm sure you guys will all agree with. And obviously a sponsor of the magazine as well, so massive thanks to Martin for being a sponsor of the mag. And if you want to learn a little bit more about Martin and why he's got the nickname Elvis, you can check out the podcast. But yeah, let's have a look at some of these fish in here. I'll just get this bag open. But really happy with this little selection of koi. Let me get in close here so you can see. This little chagoi, Ginrin quality is absolutely superb. We've got a yellow dragon from Iokia in here. Obviously a little bit more yellow on the nose than anywhere else, but I think the colour will spread throughout as it grows. Got a lovely chagoi. Got to remember the price I paid for these guys is like absolute peanuts. Pittance really. And then yeah, this Yuki Asagi, Kanoko Yuki Asagi, where you can just see the Kanoko starting to come up. Lovely white face. And then a really broad head on such a small chagoi. Really nice. So these are all going to go in my grow on tank. Hopefully get some good size onto these. And see what we can do this year. And hopefully they'll settle down the ones in there at the moment, because they're pretty skittish. So if you fancy a chag, these plaques made by Ben at Granite Stone Creations, are all available to order on my website. Or if your shower is a grower, that's also available. And we've got a mix of different, I'll just grab them, different placemats which I've shown you earlier, which are also available on the website, as well as loads of other merch. So if you want to follow on with how I get on in the grow on tank this year, and see how I get on using Dainichi koi food with these, stick around, it's going to be well worth it. I'm going to get a mirror up after the Great British Koi Show to have a look at the results, see which fish performs well, and I'll give you the real world results and performance of this system with a different koi food, with bloodlines of koi from the UK, from Japan, and from all around the world. So if you've not already subscribed to the magazine, you can do so. The next issue will be coming out at the end of June. I've got some amazing content from Belgium, as I mentioned at the start of this video. Right, just before I put the camera down, I forgot to say, please do let me know what food you want to see me use on my main pond. For this pond, my little grow on tank, obviously I'm using the Dainichi koi foods this year. So that's going to be a really awesome test. I can't wait to see how they stick up with these fish that I've just bought. But I want to know, what should I use on my main pond? I used Nutrimare last year. Should I try to use the Nutrimare and the colour food with my bigger koi? It'd be the first time I'd be using colour, and maybe mixing the sinking into my new feeder. Perhaps that'd be a good experiment and let you know how I get on. So name the food you want me to see down below. That'll enter you into the giveaway for the 2 Okawa t-shirts. You've got to be living in mainland UK to receive them. And what I'll do is, if you win from the draw, I'll leave a comment with my email address. You got to reply to, I'll reply to your comment if you're the winner, and then just drop me an email with your address on, and I'll get the t-shirts out to you on next day delivery. So yeah, good luck to everybody. And yeah, I've enjoyed making this video. Another like kind of daily vlog style thing, a bit of the life of Joe. So if you enjoy this, it would mean a lot if you could hit the like and subscribe and hype buttons. But if you're not quite finished with the koi perspective, you want to watch some more content, YouTube thinks you'll like this video. And if you want to watch our weekly koi podcast, where we talk about all things koi and have amazing guests on pretty much every other week, you can check out this playlist here, which has the podcast on. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Cheers.